We got some bad news to cover in today's video. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. As Detroit Lions injury update, Ennis Rakestraw leaves practice early and again. Sam LaPorta injury update, Lions unsure if tight end will miss the start of the season. Not good. Lions versus Commanders, how to watch. We'll get into that, as well as Detroit Lions to start quarterbacks Josh Dobbs. Select starters versus the Commanders. No Jared Goff. And Detroit Lions, Alim McNeill lands on most overpaid list. We will break that one down for you and tell you if I agree or disagree. My name is Mike Kimber with Lions Talk by Chad Sports, and I drop Lions news on a daily. If that interests you, I'd ask that you subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into today's Lions news. Death, taxes, and Ennis broke straw. Lions cornerback Ennis Rakestraw suffered injury towards the end of practice and did not return. Get more information on the other Lions injury news from training camp right there, folks. There you go. Non-contact injury for Ennis Rakestraw. He can't stay healthy. This guy, it's insane. It is now a daily thing for this guy. Just stay. He has one thing he needs to do. Stay healthy. Stay on the field and not get injured. He just can't. 3 years of consistently injured. That is the only thing he's consistently at, is being injured. The guy can't stay on the field. Just can't. You know, when I hear updates like he's did good in practice for a practice, I say, so when's he getting injured? And he gets injured again. He just has an issue with staying healthy, and man, it sucks. It sucks that he can't stay healthy. He can't. I understand he walked off slowly, non-contact, all that stuff. I'm over it. I'm over the injury issues with Ennis Rakestraw. I'm ready to move on. There's just so much that you can take when somebody just can't stay healthy. And it just ruins it for everybody else because you're trying to get consistent. But as soon as you put him out there, a couple plays, boom, injured. He is a young Emmanuel Mosley. He is a young Marcus Davenport. And I think for me, I'm tired of hearing about it, and I'm ready to move on. Should the Lions cut Ennis Rakestraw? C for cut. K for keep. Bad news for Sam LaPorta. Dan Campbell said that he got hit up in the hip, and it's just flared up a little bit. It's aggravated, but we feel good long-term about him. We'll rest him for a little bit right now. Let it calm down. Says he may not be available for the start of the regular season, week 1. I know that Sam LaPorta is a tough little cookie, so maybe he will play through it. At least it's not a long-term injury for him, but we haven't seen him play in a minute. And we need Sam LaPorta on the field. Again, with these injuries, we got to have some sort of consistency here. What can be done to get these players to stay healthy? I just don't know. I just don't know if it's really just bad luck or what's going on here. But yeah, Sam LaPorta may not be ready for week 1. And that sucks. And I understand all the teams get injuries in the NFL. I hear it. I read it. I see it. I totally understand. But I hate consistently having to make videos about injuries. I want to talk about the play on the field. I want to talk about X's and O's in football, not injuries. Hopefully Sam LaPorta be good to go for week 1 because we need him. We need our players to be on the field and play the game of football. He has been a player who has been injured. He was injured last year, and now it's aggravated. Something different, hip, not spine. Still, Sam LaPorta dinged up. At least it's not long term. Hopefully, whatever the issue is for his hip, it can calm down and be ready for week 1 because we need this. We need our players to play on the field. That's the whole point. We need these guys to perform. and not be injured all the time. Shout out to the sponsor of today's video. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks, and it's time to cash in with Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports pick app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. The app is super easy to use. Just pick more or less than a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Like I have for this year for the Detroit Lions. Gibbs getting more than 1,224.5 rushing yards. I have Ada Hutchinson getting more than 12.25 sacks. And Caleb Downs getting more than 1.5 interceptions. With the social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends. Copy the lineup with a single click. That includes myself and the rest of the folks at Chat Sports. You can follow us and tailor picks or fade and get the picks before they even get posted on the show. Prize Picks has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings for the game even finishes. And Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Florida, and Texas. So join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports pick. New user offer is the new offer. Play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use code HMA when you sign up. That's right, Prize Picks just switched up their offer, so there's no better time to join, lock in, and win your first lineup. That's code HMA at sign up and get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. All right, in the comments, put hashtag F injuries. We're tired of injuries. I'm tired of talking about it on this channel. I'd rather not. I want it to end. Is what it is. Let's talk about some football here because the Lions do face the Commanders on Saturday. I'll be live around 10:45 in the morning. The game starts at noon. Weird to have a day on Saturday. I wish it was on a Thursday or a Friday, a different day. But that's when the Lions are facing the Commanders. And the Lions, we got a lot of players that we got to watch for in this game. Some of the starters are going to be playing. A lot of the starters, what Dan Campbell said, is going to be playing in this game. And we know that Jared Goff is not going to be playing in this game, and I won't expect Jahmyr Gibbs to play either, but there is a lot of players that we can watch for on Saturday. A lot of the defense, right? Don't know if Derek Moore is going to play. Hopefully, I know he was dinged up. I'd like to see him play. Ahmed Hassanin, Alim McNeill, Tyleek Williams. Love to see that. Derek Barnes, too. Whoever is Malcolm Rodriguez, love to see him on Saturday. The whole secondary. The offensive line, we could just talk about the offensive line and the continuity that needs to start at some point. Juice Scruggs will probably be at center. And you can see Mahogany and Tate Ratledge. Just kind of see how this thing can form a little bit. We need that to occur as the regular season is just a couple weeks away. To think about that. Lions and Commanders, you have an opportunity to really show something at Ford Field, right? Are you going to be at the game? You're going to watch the game and watch the Lions and Commanders on preseason? Definitely, if you can, go see it. There's a lot of things that we got to watch for in this up-and-coming game and get prepared for that regular season. I can't wait to see some of these guys and see some Honolulu Blue. Isaac Tesla hopefully can do a bounce-back game. Didn't do so well last week. Would like him to perform well. Whoever the running backs are going to be, love to see them get the touches who can win that number 3 and 4 job in the RB room. That's important here. And Dan Campbell spoke to the media that Jared Goff is not going to be playing in this game. He said Jared Goff won't be. He says Dobbs is a bright guy. He's played in his league, but also we're making sure we can get him up to speed, Campbell said. Also, Luke Altmaier is a young player. He's promising, so we're trying to soak him with reps. But we plan to look at Dobbs and let him go. So that's going to be the quarterback for the start quarterback for Lions on Saturday. It's not going to be Jared Goff. It's going to be Josh Dobbs, and they'll switch it out with Luke Altmaier in there. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I know what Jared Goff brings to the Lions offense. I know what St. Brown brings to the Lions offense. I know what Jahmyr Gibbs brings to the Lions offense. I don't need to see those guys on Sunday. When I'm looking at preseason, I want to see players where I may have some question marks about, or if you want to see some continuity or to build something off of. Not guys who you pretty much know exactly what they're going to bring. I don't need to see Aiden Hutchinson. I know what he's going to bring, right? But there's other guys. I'd like to see DJ Wanham out there. I'd like to see some players that we're not used to seeing. And we're going to have an opportunity to do that. Now, I don't know how long it's going to be. You're going to see selective starters, maybe just be a couple drives, just get their feet wet. I wouldn't want to put them in there too long. We don't need any more injuries. We are so tired of injuries here in Detroit. And that's the last thing that we need is a player to go down in preseason that we're to rely on, and then you don't have him for the games that actually mean something. But these guys do need to get reps. They have to get some sort of reps. That's one thing I would love to see. We didn't have teams coming into Rodwood Drive this training camp to practice against the Lions. The Lions decided to do just themselves, and so it'd be nice to see some competition against other team starters versus our starters. Are you upset that Jared Goff is not going to be playing on Sunday? Y for yes and for no. Alim McNeill is getting some hate from Garrett Podell from CBS Sports. Says he's been unable to stay on the field as of late. Common theme for the Lions defense these days. Basically combined 14 games since 2013. 2015, he's 52.5 defensive grade, rank 89th out of 127 interior football lineman grades by Pro Football Focus. And McNeill's 5 sacks came back in 2023. He's accumulated 4.5 sacks the last 2 seasons. Detroit needs much more out of Alim McNeill these 3 remaining seasons. Garrett Podell doesn't watch the Lions. He looked at stats and that's all he's doing. Did he not realize that he was pretty much done with that injury? He had one injury, and that's why he didn't play. And it was a severe one that a lot of players in the NFL get. That's why he didn't play. It's not like this guy is an injury-prone player. And he was getting his feet wet when he did return. That's what he did. If you would have paid attention to what is taking place right now in Lions training camp, you would realize that he's back to his old form. It takes a little bit of time to trust after you have a severe injury. No, he'll be fine this year. Alim McNeill is one of the players I am not concerned about. But this just goes to show you that people that are not really covering the Lions, they don't pay attention. They just look at stats. That's all they do. They look at stats. They say, oh, well, that's it. Not the situation. He made him out to be an injury-prone player. It's just not he's not Ennis Rakestraw. Okay, he's not Emmanuel Mosley. He's not Marcus Davenport. He had one injury, and he came back from it. So, yeah, I disagree with him, and I think Alim McNeill will be Alim McNeill this year. That's all we have seen in OTAs, minicamp, and training camp, and we'll probably see it on Saturday versus the Commanders. I think he'll get some reps out there. So, yeah, I disagree with CBS Sports, and that's why sometimes, folks, you just got to watch a little bit. A lot of the Lions fans who are watching this video or watch other creators and read they know. You guys know. And that's really nice to see. But give me your thoughts about the latest Lions news. Adios.